Going live.
with Zay and Devin. Bo-da-dum-bum. That should definitely be our introduction. Hello. So this is literally the tool that we use and that we are sharing with so many people in order to be more productive. Um, a lot of people talk about money, but I forgot to turn my light on. So y'all can, because sometimes I be looking a little blurry. I'm trying to figure it out. How do I look? Can y'all see me clearly?
See.
Um, so we were actually okay. Let me say this first. So many people have this energy around money, but honestly, I I am going to challenge that the most valuable asset that we have is our time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important because we can't buy, well, we actually can buy it, but when it comes to time, it's literally the one thing that we as human beings get to surrender the control in universal law. You know what I'm saying? Because there's different types of things that you can do in order to have more money. There's different types of ways of being that you can have better relationships. But when it comes, there are a few things that you can do. If I talk technically, but when it comes to expanding your time or being 100% manipulative with your time, there are limitations around that. And I guess I'm thinking like, because as I'm talking through it, I'm like, "Ooh, girl, is this like a limiting belief?" But uh, our biggest assets is our time, and so one of the big pitfalls that we saw, especially being around entrepreneurs and working with different clients, is that people know what to do, they just don't know how to delegate their time in order to follow through on their commitments and um create a fulfillment with the time that they have. People think that it's something outside of them. People think, they just feel disconnected. And simply, I believe it is because we have not had we have not learned these skills. Like there has not been, I don't know about where you went to school and maybe things are changing, but I never had a time management class. I never had a class teaching me how to maximize my productivity. It was a skill that I learned. I mean, the military, they teach us discipline, so to speak, but it's not like I never took a time management class in the military either. It was just more so suppress your emotions and your mental thoughts and just be all about that action. And so yeah, so we developed this tool. It is called the TDI method. The band's going to bring it up here in a moment. But pretty much this tool, it's so simple. And honestly, we're going to leave it in the comments. Hopefully it's on all of our bios as well, because we want everybody to have access to this tool, because it's a simple process for you to have more clarity in your life, reduce overwhelm, reduce the feeling of stress, and actually be more productive, and also be more accountable and responsible and fulfilling the things that you want to do, or the things that you get to do as a responsible human being.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna show the sheet instead right now.
Oh, hopefully they can see it. I
Yeah.
thought you had it and they can't see it.
You can't see it. Well, I can get up in there. But what they can do is they can grab it. They can grab a free download from.
Okay, we're gonna put it
And
in
so
the
what I'm gonna
chat.
do is explain as well. So as they were saying, a lot of the times, um, you might feel rushed or around the things that actually matter most in your life,
Yeah.
and you get to start enjoying each moment and bring in more conscious awareness to each moment, so that you can actually not only be efficient and productive in that moment. So it's like, how can I make the most of this time? And what where we fall short is that we create overwhelm instead of prioritization. We create overwhelm instead of joy. We create overwhelm instead of intimacy. And so this is an opportunity for you to kind of tame that overwhelmed beast within you and really start moving in the flow of how you want your life to shape. And so with our prioritize and thrive worksheet, you get to do that. So we and this is a shorter version of our workbook where there's 3 steps. So you get to think dump, you get to do and improve. That's our TDI method. So it's a condensed version where we want you to think dump, write down all your tasks, goals, and outcomes that you get to be done within each day, or just even today you can start. And again, write down your top 3 priorities. And then of course you want to take action, intentional action on that. And then of course you get to read more of that once you get the sheet. And the improve is reviewing what you've worked on, what action you took, and evaluating what went well and how you can move forward to be in more in alignment with what those priorities are, what those tasks and what those actions. So we're excited because this can really enhance your productivity, because I mean productivity is like a word that just floats around, but
Yeah.
it's like, when people say, oh, you want to be uh, what do you call those those citizens of society? You want to be a functional citizen of society. So
Yeah.
if you want to be like a
Yeah.
functional citizen, functional citizen in your life, you want to be the main character. If you want to be a functional main character, don't want to be no NPC of your life. If you want to be a
Yeah.
functional character in your own life, the only way is to prioritize what matters most to you. The only way
And you,
is to, yeah, go on.
oh, sorry.
No, go on,
I
go on,
didn't
go
mean
on.
to cut you off. But as you were talking, I'm like, oh yeah, let's look up the definition of productivity: the state or quality of producing something, especially crops, the effectiveness of productive effort, especially in industry, as measured in terms of the rate of output per unit of input. So measuring in terms of the rate of your output versus your input, the rate of production of new biomass by an individual population or community. So these are more agricultural, I feel like, but it was another one. Let me see. A measure of economic performance that compares the amount of goods and service produced, which is the output, with the amount of input used to produce those goods and services. So when we think of being productive, you know, you want to make sure that everything you do is multiplied. You know,
Yes.
that's why as a society, we are getting away from the employee mindset. It's not, I show up with my time, trade me this dollar. It's like, no, I get to invest to be the most skillful and masterful human being, that I have so much value that people appreciate that, and it is multiplied. I know I've shared on the channel that currently I'm almost finished, but I'm reading this book about Reverend Ike, an extraordinary life influence. And it's really hidden because he didn't write this book. This was a book that his son and Mark Victor Hansen, like, they mainly co-authored, but there are different people who worked with him closely, when he was building his church and his legacy and everything. But like towards the end, like, they're like, oh, his business, oh, like, this was, and he say it, he's like, I'm about God's business. And so the way he built this empire, if you haven't read this book, I highly suggest it. I mean, normally I wouldn't read my mom, this is my mom book, and she told me to read it. Normally I read, I thought it was more him, but then I learned, I'm like, oh, it's his son. But it's still a great read. But what I want to land really quickly is that he knew he was building a business, even as an evangelistic spiritual leader. He would get multi-million dollars in donations international alone. I just read that today, and I was like, what? So even as um um a pastor, or even as
Mhm.
even as a reverend,
Reverend.
he knew he was building a business, and it just blows my mind. Like, he knew that he mastered himself, he mastered his spirituality, he mastered his marketing, he mastered the way he showed up in order to get the to build a legacy, to get a greater output than just like, oh yeah, I'm doing it regular, I'm putting this time in, I'm getting this time out. It was like, no, like, I'm trusting my creativity, um I'm trusting my intuition, and and he developed that, and a multi-million dollar business. I hope that makes sense what I just said, but like, it really shocked.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, like, he knew. I mean, yes, his message and his vision and all this stuff, like, he was very determined to support people into their spirituality and mindset. But at the same time, he knew, he was like, no, I need to hire this person. But he knew he was building a business as a reverend for I mean, it's just like, whoa. And like, to hear other people how they describe it, it's just wow. Read this book.
Yeah.
But
And so
yeah.
what I'm hearing from that as well is that when you're productive, you're resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm,
when you're resourceful, that means you have resources. That means you have tools that you're leveraging from.
mm-hmm.
So if you really want to be a productive, functional person, like you get to know the resources you want, know the tools that you might need, or just take a hold of the tools and resources around you that's going to help elevate you. And so that's why we're sharing with you this free worksheet that you get to download. It should be on the screen in the chats as well. Take hold of that, and we'll come back next week. We'll come or tomorrow or whenever we're next live, and dive deeper on this with you.
Yeah.
So let us know that let us know that you grabbed the worksheet in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next live.
And I know we're about to end, but I just want to say also quickly, I know we didn't go deep on this worksheet, but we have workshops. I mean, we really, I mean, probably on this particular thing, if it's not every week, it's every other week. So if you actually want to work through this worksheet with us, just comment on this video. We will see, us or our team will see the notification, and we will invite you to our next workshop. And we actually use this as a tool, and we walk you step by step where you are actually doing it. So by the end of the workshop, you feel so much clearer, you feel fulfilled, you feel more focused in knowing how to do the things that to help organize the things that you know that you want to do. Like, so many people are struggling, they feel overwhelmed because they're like, I don't know the first step. So we help you break it down, and this tool is just a ready to go tool for you to use right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust yourself, like, just get to work, take action. But if you really want us to walk you through this, we have a free workshop that we do regularly, and we can invite you to the next one that's coming up. So I
Yeah,
wanted
so
to
you
land
get
that.
immediate updates. You'll get immediate updates once you've like registered and whatnot. So once you've got a worksheet, then we'll email you like directly and give you those details.
Yep. So go ahead, download this worksheet. Just get to work. And it tells you exactly what to do. Trust yourself, and if you follow the worksheet step by step, you will follow through on your commitments, and you will get shit done. So we will see you on the next video. Use
Yeah,
tools to be productive.
indeed. Take care, guys. Stay empowered.